on those days where you kind of look in the mirror and say, "Oh my God, can I do this today?" I want you to remember that there was a version of you that dreamt of this moment, right? There was a version of you that literally sat back wishing for the day that you're having today. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Bridging the Divide podcast. I'm your host, Rolando Bonilla. Here we are. This is it. This is Christmas week. Week after, it's New Year. It's our chance to spend time with family, food, have fun. And if you heard me last week, I was clear in telling you all that this is also a great time to reach out, reconnect, establish relationships, prepare your work for quarter one. But today I'm going to take a different approach. I think an equally important approach for anyone in business that's, working hard to try to build something. And that's the issue of gratitude. This is a tough and arduous path. This is a path where if you're doing it right in the beginning, particularly, you are consumed and obsessed by this 7 days a week, 365 days a year, 24 hours. You are eating, breathing, dreaming your business, your goals, your plan, your framework. And it can be daunting at times. You can feel exhausted, and that's why so many don't make it, right? That's why so many talk a good game about, we're going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to go here, I'm going to go there. And at the end of the day, it doesn't happen. And I'd be lying to you if I myself don't have days where I just feel overwhelmed, right? Wake up at 5 and I'm on the phone by 6. I kid you not. I'm on the phone by 6, and usually I'll get home about 9, and my phone is still ringing 10:30. Particularly this time of the year where you're kind of feeling a little beat up and a little exhausted. You're sitting here saying, "Oh my God, right? Can I get through tonight and start over tomorrow?" But in those moments of tiredness, those moments that some may consider difficult, I like to remind myself about how grateful I am to get those phone calls, how grateful I am to have the opportunity to have built something that is now, a very strong reputation, that people rely, right? That to me, that is such a blessing. So on those days that you feel overwhelmed, on those days where you kind of look in the mirror and say, "Oh my God, can I do this today?" I want you to remember that there was a version of you that dreamt of this moment, right? There was a version of you that literally sat back wishing for the day that you're having today. I had an out of body experience recently, and I mean that more metaphorically. I got to visit City College of San Francisco, my junior college. And for those of you that do know me, I'm born and raised in San Francisco, and City College is where I spent 2 years of my life when I transitioned from high school to college. So I go there for a meeting, and I walk up to the top of the campus, which, if any of you know, or if you want to Google it, the Cloud Hall is located at the top of what feels like an Aztec temple. Stairs on both sides, and you're walking all the way into the sky. I mean, it was a good workout back in the day. So as I walked through that area, I really didn't go in thinking that I was going to think anything. To be really honest with you, I was just there for an appointment, and then it hit me. The moment I walked through those corridors, the moment I walked through that plaza, I couldn't help but to remember 19-year-old, 18-year-old me. And I couldn't help but to remember the problems that he was dealing with, and the stressors that he was dealing with. I remember when I was 19, I was having a kid, and life felt like I was upside down. Situation was interesting. I was lost. I was scared. I was confused. Was working in San Francisco City Hall part time. After hours, I'd work as a bouncer at the then Sir Francis Drake Hotel. I remember I would have to sometimes I would had a crazy shift, right, where I worked 12 hours at night, 4 hours at City Hall, plus my schoolwork. I wasn't sleeping much back then. I remember I would have to go to the school gymnasium to shower sometimes just to start my day. And I remember how overwhelmed I felt at that period of my life where I had all of these dreams and all of these goals. And candidly, I was wondering if I was going to even get the chance to compete to make a lot of them a reality. And of course, at that time, you don't really know any better. And if you come from a family like I come from, where, I didn't grow up connected, I didn't grow up, I was first to finish college in my family, immigrant family. All I had was a work ethic, but outside of that, no map, no no clear. I had vision, but I didn't know how I was going to get there. So I'm walking through this campus, fast forward 2025, and I'm walking through this campus and I'm feeling all of that. And I was a little taken aback by how much I felt it. And then I sat there and I remember feeling grateful. I remember feeling grateful because I literally had the rare chance to, that we always talk about. What would you, say to your 18-year-old version? Well, I did. 47-year-old me told 18-year-old me, you made it. Everything you were concerned about, you overcame. You dealt with it. Everything that you thought you were gonna be, some of the things played out, some didn't. But my life did become better than I could have even imagined it at that point. And so on those days where things get really, really difficult, I'm reminded of that moment where I really felt it. I felt that gratitude. I felt that appreciation for the people that believed in me. I felt that appreciation at that moment for City College of San Francisco for giving me a chance, right? City Junior College, I always tell folks it's not the institutions, it's the people. I remember at City College, I had a counselor who I was fortunate enough to have also as a teacher in high school, Mr. D'Amato. He was extremely believed in me, someone that I will always remember, wherever I go, because there was always this belief, and it made a difference. It made a difference, and so I remember thinking of that time fondly and reflecting. And I want you all to take the time this holiday season to remember that, to remember where you've come from, to remember what has put you on this path, to remember that you're here for a reason. It's not supposed to be easy. If it was, everyone would do it. And honestly, and if everyone could do it, then what's the point of doing it, right? Because, these things are more enjoyable because they are difficult. And I want you to remember on those days that you want to quit, or you don't think this is for you, or you're not, or you're afraid of making the adjustment. You've been through things. You've been through some big things in your life. Some of you have dealt with loss. Some of you have dealt with divorces. Some of you are dealing with complications that you couldn't even imagine, but you're dealing with them. And yet you're moving forward, right? You're moving forward and you're moving your dream forward. And forgive me for any of you that are listening and are thinking that I'm getting all, deep and spiritual with you, but in an interesting way, pursuing your dreams is deep and spiritual. It requires so much of you. It requires people that understand that you have to give it all up just to create that one opportunity. So to me, gratitude has been the key to managing my ups and my downs. It's the reason that when things are really, really bad in my life, I remember, running for office, and some people think that when they write bad about me, that it's going to somehow hurt my feelings. It doesn't. I'm grateful to even be in a position where you want to talk about me, because I look at my life and I look at the 50,000 different paths I could have taken where I wouldn't have even been on the map. I would have had a very different life, right? So, gratitude. I want you to take this time to be grateful for the life that you have and the goals that you have, and grateful for the steps that you're taking, and grateful for the mentorship that someone's willing to give you, for the trust of becoming your customer that someone's giving you, for the book that someone wrote that you may not have ever met this person, but you're reading their book and you're learning from it. Grateful for the podcast. I hope this one, right? right? that took the time to share with you. Sometimes we feel alone, but when you take these moments of gratitude, you realize that we are surrounded by community. We just have to actually open our eyes, and we have to actually take the time to engage with that community, right? People can't feed you if they don't know you're hungry, right? People can't feed you if they don't know you're hungry. So be grateful, be positive, use this time to recharge. We are now in this Christmas week. The world is essentially shut down for some of us. For others, this is a great opportunity to make some extra sales because people are rushing to continue to buy gifts. Uh, but be grateful. Every sale is something to be grateful for. Every mentor is something to be grateful for. Every piece of knowledge that you're acquiring is something to be grateful for. The people that came before you to give you this chance, be grateful for their contributions to get you to this point in life. Be grateful. So with that, I want to wish you and your families an extremely happy holiday season. I hope that if you had a tough 2025, that 2026 is better for you. If you had a great 2025, may it also be greater for you. I can't wait to hear from you all in the new year. Until then, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year. I'll see you in 2026.